Welcome to Onward Shift. Dive into compelling personal stories, celebrating achievements, and navigating hardships. Join us for insights that inspire and empower us to flourish together. Hey, I'm Vishal Narbheram, and today I'll be answering a question that needs to be answered, and that is, what is it to be a man in 2024? This episode will give you mixed emotions. It may resonate with some, and it may frustrate others. But overall, the goal is to find a common ground in seeing every single one of us flourish and become the best self they can possibly be. And the only way we get there is by discussing these difficult topics and finding solutions that align us together on something that is changing the lifestyle of millions of people every single day all around the world. What is it to be a man in 2024? It's personally left me confused, frustrated, lonely. But why? That doesn't make any sense. We're in 2024. Well, here it is from my perspective. I've lived the last 30 years being told what a man is. Maybe not directly, but most definitely subconsciously. We're providers. What does that mean? Well, we go to work to make money, to pay the bills and keep the food on the table. We're protectors. So what does that mean? It means we protect our families emotionally, physically, and mentally. No matter what situation, we must rise to it. Emotionally, we're not supposed to show any signs of, especially crying, as it's seen as weakness, and we're not allowed to show that to anyone. And most importantly, we're the bin putter outers, the car fixers, the furniture makers, and the random screw collectors. I'm sure a load of men can relate to me on that one. Now, these aren't all the reasons I've subconsciously picked up on over the years, but those are the big ones that sprung to mind. Growing up, I never saw any man cry, talk about their feelings, or express their emotions. And that wasn't just at home or at work. It was going out with your friends to the pub. We never really spoke about our emotions, ever. I don't remember seeing any men cry at funerals. If they did, it would be a very rare occasion. And in all honesty, that man would be told to man up. You can't be seen as crying in front of your family, no matter what the situation is. And it makes you think, we're really harsh on each other. We don't need to be that harsh. I wonder how many of you out there right now remember seeing your dad, granddad, uncle, neighbor, friend cry or show that emotion in comparison to remembering them losing their temper. Us guys haven't been conditioned to show emotions for generations and generations and generations. So 30 years of hearing that my purpose is to provide, protect, show no emotion, and man up brings us to 2024. What a change. Is it for the best? Is it emasculating? Is it difficult? I'm personally going to answer yes to it being difficult, yes to it being emasculating, and 110% yes, because we're finally moving in the right direction. So let's have some difficult conversations today and talk about these topics. There's been so much that has been passed down from generations of men, and I don't think it's always been good, right? I have this hate for this saying, man up. What does that even mean, man up? Oh, what an annoying thing to say. I have a similar hate for the saying, boys don't cry. We must come together here and stop teaching our children boys don't cry. Because by teaching them that, we're also teaching them to hold in their feelings. And that's not great. Look at our generation right now. We're awesome at holding on our feelings. And is it healthy? No, 100% it's not. So let me start by saying the words man up and boys don't cry deserve to be in the same place as a Nokia 8310. They deserve to be in the past. As a man, we shouldn't be defining ourselves as macho by keeping our emotions in, not talking about our problems, not telling our loved ones how we feel. Bottling up these emotions will be the death of us. It already is. How many times I've bottled up my own emotions, then exploded over something small is unfortunately now, I can't count how many times that's happened. Too many times. Far too many times. I've learned from these years of therapy that I've been to that it's easier to actually talk about stuff than hold it in. But I'll be honest with you, at first, oh my God, it was hard. I remember the first time I sat there having to be vulnerable. I swear to you, my lips were sealed shut. You'd need a crowbar to open them. But once I did, it didn't get better. Again, I'm going to be honest here. It didn't get better because I was angry. I was fuming that I had to show any sort of vulnerability. It actually made me feel sick. Honestly, it did. This is something I've never experienced before. I've never experienced sitting in front of someone telling them how I feel. In my head, that's just ridiculous. Why on earth would I do that? I've not been conditioned to do that. I've not been taught to do that. But let me carry on with this. Now, if I told you my lips were sealed shut, but I spoke, I felt sick because I was vulnerable, but that got better. In fact, I'm actually confident in saying that over time, and remember, it did take a bit of time here, I learned it was actually really good to talk about my emotions and feelings. Even if that's just me talking about having a bit of a rough day, I didn't need to bottle that in. I didn't need to do that. I could actually speak about it, and I felt really, really good after just getting it off my chest. It felt as if that part of the day was done and I could move on. Gandhi once said, "Be the change you want to see." Doesn't that really, really hit home? I desperately wouldn't want my children to grow up feeling that they can't express their feelings comfortably. I don't ever want to tell them to bottle up their emotions, or it's a weakness to cry. So to see that change, I have to be it. I have to grow. I have to push myself out of my comfort zone. I have to be the change I want to see. I used to admire those guys. You know, those guys who look like absolute units, those gym dudes. I used to think, what a lad. Then one day, a few months ago, I was walking down the high street with my brother-in-law, and he was pushing the pram, pulling funny faces at his little one. And hearing them laughing, something suddenly changed in me. I was like, that dude is cool. He didn't care about what anyone else thought of him, but he was present in that moment with his little one, having a great time. Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, but what a lad. Now, that for me is a lad. Like, also, guys, we don't have to be defined by the size of our arms, the watches we wear, the cars we drive, or the jobs we work. We are who we want to be. So let's start defining a man as someone who loves looking after his kids, talks about his emotions, and even brags about going to yoga on Wednesday night. That brings us to the next topic, and I think this is a really important one for us men. Did you know you're actually no less of a man if you enjoy yoga, or watching ballet, or stargazing? You have a hobby, and that's actually awesome. I wish I had a hobby other than working, and between me and you, working isn't actually your hobby. Sorry to break it to you, but it's not. It shouldn't be anyway. I did when I was younger though. I loved playing cricket and I loved going go-karting. I would actually go by myself. If nobody was around, then cool. I'll jump in the car and go go-karting myself. But the older you get, it feels like the less hobbies I had. Maybe we should all spend some time thinking about things we love doing, but we don't have the time to do, or we don't think we have the time to do it. And more importantly, let's think of something that we enjoy doing and try not monetize it. Because I think men are notoriously good at that, right? You think, oh yeah, I can do this thing. And the next question is, I wonder if I can add a pound note to it. Well, hobby doesn't have to make you money. It can just be there for a bit of fun. I actually wanted to learn how to play the saxophone for years. Believe it or not, but I've actually got a guy playing a saxophone tattooed to my arm. That's how much I wanted to learn how to play it. And maybe that's actually something that I should do personally. And if I can do something like that, then maybe you can too, right? So maybe you love fitness, but you find it hard to have the time to go to the gym. Well, how about you do 20 push-ups in the morning? That will take what, a couple minutes? Even if it's 5 minutes, that's manageable. And then all of a sudden, you've done something for yourself. Something that you love doing. You can call it a workout. You can call it a hobby, call it a passion project. You want to go from 20 to 100 in a week, whatever. There's no time frame on it. Call it whatever you want. But just get started. just do the first 20 push-ups. That's all it is. Just get started and do something for yourself. I was actually having a chat with my girlfriend and she said something incredible. And I guarantee you she's probably going to listen to this later and think straight away, oh crap, what have I gone and said now? She said that we're currently in a time which we've never been in before. And I remember going, oh yeah, here we go. But then she actually said something remarkably true. She said women can pursue their dreams and men can have a choice of being whatever they want. I went quiet for a minute there because I had to think about that. And then I was like, holy moly, she's onto something here, ain't she? I no longer have to sit in a dead-end job and be miserable and mindlessly bored because my partner earns and can contribute to the bills. I no longer have to take the bins out weekly. I have this thing called choice. How precious is that? It's awesome to have that luxury, but it's also important to tackle the next point head on. I also have a choice to take the bins out, to fix the car, to build the furniture, and to be the provider and protector. But the main difference here is I'm choosing that life, but it's not expected of me. And it's really important to hear that last bit. I'm choosing that life. It's not expected of me. I'm going to say something here that is really vulnerable, and I don't think I've ever publicly said this other than to the people closest to me. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to say it. If I'm ever blessed enough to have children, then I want to be a stay-at-home dad. I said it. There you go. The hard bit's done. I would actually love to be a stay-at-home dad. I wouldn't mind doing the cleaning, the shopping, the cooking. I want to drop my kids off to school and I want to pick them up. And I want to see them take their first steps. And I want to take them to the park. And when they fall over, I want to be there. I don't want to be stuck in a job where I've got, for me personally, and this is again very personal, I'd rather be at home looking after my kids. And another personal thing is my dad passed away when I was 2 or 3. Truthfully, I can't actually remember how old I was. And there was always a missing piece. I was really fortunate to have a mum, an older brother, and an older sister who loved me and filled those gaps in for me. So I was really fortunate with that. But there was still a missing piece of not having a father. But I don't think I should be ashamed to say out loud now that being a stay-at-home dad, you know what? That's actually pretty cool. Does it emasculate me? A year ago, I would have probably laughed. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not proud of that. But I would have laughed at that situation and would have probably gone, no man should be at home. No man should be a stay-at-home dad. We're supposed to be providers and protectors. But now I see that I would have laughed most probably because that thought probably scared me. It was kind of like, actually, I really do want to be that. But in society, I can't be that. So thank God for 2024, where men are and can be stay-at-home dads. And that's awesome. Like, how amazing is that? That's humongous change, a really positive change. I think it's going to be selfish of me not to thank 2 women in my life. And that's my girlfriend and my sister. Because they're 2 people who have had consistent, difficult conversations with me. I think I was typically known as an old school guy, but over the years, I broke those habits. And I'm generally happier expressing my feelings and accepting the choices I've made, and even cooking. No word of a lie, my tacos are banging. Like, yeah, absolute quality. And I'm quite a stubborn person. I like to be set in my old ways. But if I can change, then I reckon others can too. So embrace it. But to end this chat, I want to answer the title. What is it to be a man in 2024? Well, honestly, I think it's anything you want it to be. You can be you, and you don't have to be ashamed of it. Go out and dance, sing, cry, laugh, talk. Whatever you decide to be, just remember that one important thing. Just be you. Like always, we have a little bit of homework. Nothing too difficult is what I would usually say, I think. But this one might be. But I really believe you can do it if you try. So gents, take that first step to be vulnerable. Even if it's a step in talking to your partner about a rough day. Just take that first step. And ladies, this one's for you. I ask one thing of you. Please be patient with us. We're learning, and I promise you, we are trying our best. So respect to everyone out there fighting to be the change they want to see. You're all amazing for doing that. Now, if you have any stories, questions, or tips, please share them with me. I would love to hear from you, so reach out via our website, onwardshift.com, our social medias, or email. Your stories and questions might even be answered in the next episode. Thank you for listening to our podcast. We hope these stories have inspired you, offering hope, courage, and resilience to keep moving forward. Stay connected with us at onwardshift.com. Until next time, keep striving.